Dane, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, good. I can ready for another one. I can see your excitement building as this one came along.
Dude, this is huge, man. We talked about bucket lists in the early days of those people that we want to go after and inspired by outside of sports and music. And you know, my absolute love for comics, all things comics, whether it's Dungeons
Yeah,
and Dragons, man, Warhammer, and then the typical, the big two they always say, Marvel and DC is cool. But I grew up, man. I was so inspired by Spawn growing up, and you always saw my
yeah,
stuff, man. I was like, don't touch it. It's not
yeah,
action figures, it's collectibles. I'd always tell you, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
grew up reading Spawn. I have all of them, one through the first 100. I have them. It's like one of my prized possessions. And I love the storyline. I love the mindset of like the bad guy kind of turns into the good guy and wins, right? The whole just
Yeah.
flawed dimensional two-dimensional thing where he actually ends up helping others, but he's still kind of the anti-hero. I feel like
Right.
one of those guys that took off from that was Spawn. And we were happy and blessed, man, along the way to bring on Thomas Healy here in a second, who, has done his work with Sam and Twitch, which I love. It's kind of like the spin-off of like the detectives from the Spawn universe. Of course, his work with Black Ritual and what he keeps doing with Scorched. And what's cool about this guy is one of the best writers, comic book minds, but he comes from a standpoint of being a fan as well. From the early days of just owning the comic book shop of his own to being a fan of it, I think the best writers are those that actually consume the content and love it, man. So a lot of people have been
Yeah.
asking for it, and you know me, man, been itching for this one. Bringing on the legend himself, Thomas Healy. Thomas, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
True honor, man. I know you're a busy guy, and I appreciate you making time. Love the backdrop, seeing some of your work. It's good to
Oh,
catch
thank
up,
you.
man.
I've been collecting stuff like this for many, many years.
Man, love it. Well, Thomas, I know you're
Yeah.
busy, so I'm going to jump into the question set for respect for your time, man. I know I've studied a lot about you in the early days, things like Avengers, I know kind of got you into comic books. But I remember that first time I read a comic and I was just engulfed in it. It was a Spider-Man issue 63. If you go back to the early days for you, like when you're like, man, this is what got me into comics, maybe that issue, that character, the
Yeah.
early days, man, what was that first comic book you read that got this love for that going for you?
It was like three that I remember, and unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to tell you the issue numbers. But
That's cool.
I was around at the time when they were still selling comic books on spinner racks at 7-Eleven. I grew up in New York, so we
Yeah.
didn't really have Circle K's or anything, but the 7-Eleven spinner racks. So it was early John Byrne Fantastic Four. I loved. My mother bought a lot of that. She would buy a lot of Captain America, which really kind of helped me fall in love with that character. And then of course the West Coast Avengers. That was the other one. So those were kind of like the three seminal books that kind of got me into comics. And then meeting my best friend in school, Billy Petruzowitz, in New York. He was the one that introduced me to X-Men. And he
Yeah.
was like, check
Okay.
this out. And then that was when I went, wow, this could be kind of adult. This
Yeah.
was the X-Men when they were so like it's like late 80s, early 90s. So they were in Australia. They had gone through the Siege Perilous. A bunch of them were dying. So this
Yeah.
was like, this could be really, really cool. And then it just kind of stayed from there.
Dude, I love it, man. From X-Men, Marvel stuff, and just I know exactly what you're saying, man. I'm in my 40s, but I remember going to the grocery store, and that's where the spinner racks were. Back in the day, my
Yeah.
kids are like, "What? You had to read stuff like in person?" And I'd sit there, mom, a grocery shop for 2 hours, get all of her stuff, and I'd read through all the different comics, and it's like this is like an escape. It's such a cool, like
Yeah.
cool anti-reality type thing. So it's always kind of good to hear maybe what your intros were. I didn't know about the Fantastic Four ones. Pretty cool. But yeah, man, since then, obviously you've done a lot of works and different things. Dane, I know you spoke about kind of the early days, right? You were looking at that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember whenever I was young, I'm a little bit older than Josh here, being his uncle. I remember my first one was Captain Marvel. Went to the public library and started reading through those old Captain Marvels and just kind of talk to me. So we all have our start, and you get that love early, and it
Hmm.
builds to great things that you've done, Thomas. Out of all the works that you've done, I mean, from those early days when you started writing and started creating and imagining to now, being an editor with Spawn and all the other things you write for, what has been maybe either from back then or now, what have been maybe one or two of your favorite storylines that you just loved through the years?
Mhm.
I'll be honest. I have a couple for being able to work in Todd McFarlane's kind of sandbox.
Mhm.
He really gave Nat and I kind of free reign to do whatever we wanted in Black Ritual, the Book of Nyx. which was really fun, because they had introduced that character back in the early days in the 170s, and they just kind of were like, oh, she's just a witch, she's Wiccan, and then that's it. She's like Spawn's on and again, off again girlfriend. Are they doing it? They're not doing it. Is she going to betray him? Is she not? That kind of thing. But
Hmm.
they didn't really dig into what that character was. Um, and then my own personal kind of like interest in reading books about the occult and stuff. When Nat came to me and said, "Hey, I want to dig into this character again." Our pitch to Todd was like, "Hey, we're not just going to say Wiccan. We're going to bring in some real stuff to this book." And he was like, "Just do whatever you want, go for it." And so he really kind of gave us free reign. Um, so out of my Spawn stuff, like that was probably the most exciting we had. But absolutely a bucket list situation was when I pitched Sam and Twitch to Todd, and he was like, "Yeah," because that was. I'll be completely honest, and I've had this conversation with Todd when Image started. I was not the Spawn fan. I really liked Will Protasio's Wetworks. If you
Hmm.
remember those guys,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
were gold and they fought vampires. Like, so I wasn't initially a Spawn fan, but growing up and seeing Image grow and seeing Savage Dragon and Youngblood and all and Cyberforce and all these
Yeah.
characters kind of grow and evolve, Sam and Twitch is what really got me. Like, I loved watching Law and Order SVU and TV shows
Hmm.
like Bosch and stuff like that. I liked crime mysteries, so I was a voracious reader of anything Sam and Twitch. And one of the greatest comic book writers of all time, Brian Michael Bendis,
Right.
had a
Agree.
huge
Agree.
run on Sam and Twitch. So I love that. So getting to write Sam and Twitch was actually a huge bucket list for me.
Yeah.
Um,
That's honestly, man, of all and I love all the works you've done. That's me personally, I love that too. Like that neo-noir, that like you said, kind of a gritty 90s crime. And even in the show, I still watch it probably twice a year. I'll go through the Spawn TV show on HBO Max. Like I
mhm.
love the Sam and Twitch moments, all the stuff
Yeah.
they've done, the way you took that and made it even more kind of dark. I mean, it's cool. It's like it's real life. You take this crazy scenario of like the Spawn universe and bring some reality to it as well. And it's the best of both worlds, man. The influence, I always look at what, the people when they hear your name, it is like the Bendis nowadays. You hear the Jeff Lubbs, you hear the Healys, you really do. It's like that rare air shorthand people that are in the business right now that are just huge at what they do. Obviously, people look to you, young writers. You've kind of started casting this net that Thomas sphere, if you will. I'm curious, man, maybe outside of comic books, your inspirations. Maybe it's like authors, and it could be, not even in the comic book world. Is there some
Yeah.
people you draw from to get writing influences these days?
Oh yeah, I've always kind of had that situation where like I can look at somebody and just be like, "Hey, I'll never necessarily be that, but man, I dig that vibe. I like that." And unfortunately, most of the people that I kind of go to are no longer with us. But I've always been a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain, whether you
Yeah.
like cooking or his TV shows. But he was an incredible writer as well. I've read all of the stuff he's ever written. He actually wrote an incredible comic called Get Jiro, which is being turned into an animated series now, which I'm very, very excited for. But he's written um, fiction, but again, a lot of his just memoirs from the kitchen. So I've been a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain for years. Same thing with Hunter S. Thompson. I
Yeah.
grew up in that. Again, I kind of like came of age in the late 70s there. So that was a figure that I remember seeing in popular culture. He was it was the term gonzo journalist. And then, you see the movies Where the Buffalo Roam, starring Bill Murray and Peter Boyle. And then the more modern take on his life was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But again, same thing. I've read through a lot of his stuff for a hot minute. I was, when blogging was a bigger thing than it is now, because that was just before social media. I was writing for various sites, doing stuff like that, like kind of like minor journalism kind of pieces. Never really went anywhere. Wasn't very particularly good at it. But those are definitely two people in my life that really kind of inspired what I wanted to do, because I don't feel like they ever really listened to anybody if they were told no, or said you shouldn't do with that, or you can't do that. It was just like a big kind of like middle finger to the world, be like, I'm gonna do what I
Hmm.
want. And then,
Love that.
Yeah.
go gearing into the comic book people, people like, everyone goes to Alan Moore, but I'm a big fan of Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, those writers, their bodies of work as creators were a big influence to me.
Man, it's cool to see like
Wow.
it's such a diverse spectrum, like, even from the Bourdain man to like the more like detailed writers. It's cool that you bring this. and I love talking about this because my kids are teenagers now, and all they've known is comic books and Marvel and all the whole scene, right? DC and beyond, and they didn't know what it was like. And not that it was never not cool; it's always been cool, it always has been. But there's a different level of pop culture to comic books and things like this nowadays than it was when we were kind of growing up, right?
Yeah.
And to kind of
Right.
see you on the cusp of that, where you helped kind of father that in, like you are part of that OG movement of making it part of pop culture. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool, the influence, right? So just knowing that who you kind of your circle is and who influences you is always cool to hear. Go ahead, Dan.
absolutely. So now that, you're obviously have so many irons in the fire, what does the rest of the year look like for you? Do you have a lot of things on the horizon? Are you creating new? I mean, there's obviously no stopping you. Been doing it
I'm
great things for
trying.
all these
Yeah,
years.
it'd be nice to just keep on keeping on. I'll be the ongoing writer for Scorched for some time. We just actually, if you have, I get in trouble sometimes from our PR teams, because sometimes I leak stuff that I'm not supposed to leak because I'm excited
Understood.
about stuff. So
Right.
if you follow me on social media, like we had a big writers meeting and I took photos because we were all on Zoom together, and they were like, "Hey, don't post photos of everybody that's on this meeting." I was like, "All right, fine." But we had a really big writers meeting. We were kind of planning out the rest of the year, where the writing teams are going into 2027. So Matthew Rosenberg, who's writing Spawn and King Spawn, Erica Schultz were there. I speak with Daniel Enriquez, who's doing Curse of Shirley Johnson, and obviously Jimmy Palmiotti with Deadly Tales. And then Todd, kind of, who's not writing a main book right now, but he kind of still, oversees everything
Dave, you there?
as
I think you
creative
cut out for
director.
1 second.
Oh, did I cut out? I'm
One
sorry.
second.
No worries.
There it goes. It's back now. Sorry
I'm
about that. It cut
back.
out.
No, no
Yeah.
worries. No worries. So we had our big writers meeting the other day. So we were planning stuff out. So we have a lot of exciting stuff on the docket for Scorched. When I came on board, and if you read the first issue, and I know it got a lot of traction on social media because there was a big splash page at the end, which showed a lot of characters. And it was just like, who's going to be on the new team? And there were some characters that were not necessarily part of the Spawn universe, the Max being one. And we did that simply because of the unfortunate passing of Sam Keith. But there are, without revealing too much and getting a slap on the hand from our PR team, we definitely have some plans on bringing some interesting and potential non-Spawn universe characters into the book to kind of expand what we're doing currently in the Spawn universe. And so I just received some thumbs up from some creators about
Nice,
bringing in
man.
some of their
Wow.
characters. So that's very, very exciting. And I'm working with another artist for potentially a non-Spawn project for something else. And I just started doing not the layouts, but kind of like the organizational stuff of my first novel. So
Let's go, man.
we're going
Let's
to
Oh,
be
go.
wow.
hopefully plugging away at that into middle of next year.
Dude, that's cool. Hey, can you,
Nice.
it's cool if you can't. Is it going to be fiction, nonfiction, your novel, or what?
It's gonna be fiction.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
fiction.
Gotcha.
I've always kind of gone back and forth with what I really wanted to go into, um, and so I think we're working on a little bit of a sci-fi
Okay.
kind of grim dark
Oh,
kind of scenario.
That just sounds like we're gonna have to have a part two, man. When the book comes out, I'm gonna be
oh
waiting
yeah.
for that so we
Yeah,
can release that, man. So we're
that'll
setting
be
up for
good.
next year, part two, right? Got you.
Yeah,
So love it.
you got it.
Um,
I'm here.
Man, I'm of the stuff, and I say this because I know where I look into it. But if you were to give just kind of a bonus question of your work with Sam and Twitch and all things you've done, if you were to have someone that's listening out there today, trying to bring the sports world, music world into this, right? Say, hey, I want to jump in, I want to get into your Sam and Twitch universe. What story arc, maybe what issue would you tell someone to jump into? I always want to say beginning, but like, hey, where would you have them jump into?
Yeah,
You know?
well, if they're interested, what I would recommend is, because it'll be easier to find right now, is read the modern stuff from the latest Sam and Twitch Case Files series. It went 25 issues. What was nice about that, and this was kind of my pitch when we brought it back to Todd, was, hey, I don't want there to be a whole lot of running threads that you have to start on issue one. All three of the cases that were part of that 1 through 25 issues, they were all separate. They all took
Hmm.
place in the same modern universe, and there might be references to previous stuff, but each one of those could be taken as a self-contained story from start to finish. So when those trades come out, you don't need to read volume one, then volume two, volume three. You could just go, hey, I like Thomas Healy and I liked Von Randall on art. I'm just going to pick up that.
That's
And
cool.
that's its own self-contained thing.
Love it.
So
All right.
Sam and Twitch is really into it. And then if you like that, then I recommend go hunting down the Brian Michael Bendis trades. We just put out a compendium that has all of that because that's well worth a read.
Yeah.
So Sam and Twitch, I think, compared to a book like Spawn that's approaching 380 issues, a little bit easier to jump in and start. But I always tell people this because I see this on the Spawn Reddit, on Reddit or the groups online. Oh man, I want to get into Spawn. I saw the cartoon or I watched the movie. My older brother maybe watched the movie. Where do I start? And people will give a lot of really detailed, like, well, you should start here, but then switch over to this. It's like, guys, do what we all did. All the people on this video right now, we just picked up an issue.
Yeah.
You went to the comic book store, you went to the spinner rack, you were at the Circle K, the convenience store. They're just comics. Just pick them in. It's not like reading Lord of the Rings and starting on the third book and going, I have no clue what's going on. They're just comic books. Just pick them an issue and start. You will figure it out, and then you'll learn. Because nobody goes, I really want to read Batman, so I guess I got to hunt down the first appearance of Batman from 1939. Nobody says that.
True.
They just start reading Batman. So I don't understand why people feel like you have to start with Spawn 1. Yeah. No, man, maybe you just like cowboys. Go pick up Deadly Tales.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You'll pick it up. You'll read it. You'll enjoy it. And then you can just start evolving and going from there. It's just a comic book.
Yeah. Man, it's cool. I'm telling you, but I personally have been following since one, Dane. But like he said, if you want to get in on there, like I would go Deadly Tales is probably where I'd start too. So Dane, that's a good call out. So love it, man. You got a lot of irons in the fire, the novel, so many things going on. It's cool to see that you definitely almost have too much work right now. Good problem. Too much going on, right? So good problem. Man, I'm going to transition to a segment, and we're known for this. This is 350 plus episodes we've done. We do a segment that I guarantee you in all the days of media, you haven't had a segment quite like this. We're going to present 5 questions to you. There's no wrong answer. Here's the thing. Dane and I kind of bet on what we think you're going to say, kind of similar to a rapid fire. And you pick the answer. We'll tell you if we got it right. Whoever gets more of your picks right gets lunch provided by the loser. So just saying, man, I'm trying to get lunch here. So help me out.
Fair enough.
So,
all right, here we go.
And this segment, it could be past or present, fiction, reality. It's just more personality questions about you, okay? So I knew about your love for Anthony Bourdain. That was really cool. I knew that from just kind of doing some creeping and profiling and all that. So 2 of these guys, they said, hey, we're going to do kind of a special. We're going to do a comic books around the world, kind of lost treasures, driving around the U.S., comic book shop thing, right? Kind of seeking. And you can choose your co-host to go on this road trip with you. You can choose to have Adam Richman or Andrew Zimmern go across country with you, comic searching. Adam Richman, Andrew Zimmern, which way are you going?
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Andrew Zimmern because I'm a foodie and I like watching him. That being said, I've met Adam Richman and he's a huge comic book nerd.
Yeah.
He actually came to one of the shops that I was managing years and years ago when he was doing the food challenge at one of the restaurants here in Phoenix. And he stopped in because Brian Azzarello was signing at the shop. So he just walks in and everyone's like, I think that's the guy from like the Man versus Food show. But that being said, as far as being a foodie, Andrew Zimmern, I think is a incredibly talented chef.
Yeah, man. Dane, which would you have on that, man? Which would you go?
I said Zimmern.
Let's go.
He's a little older. He can, go back to, the same era as all of us.
I actually had Richmond. I did. Okay, so I'm 0 for 1, Dane. You got me. Okay, so keep it going. Question 2, man. So speaking of pitches and different things, you're presenting a brand new idea to Todd, a whole new arc, storyline, characters, and all that stuff. You have 2 characters you're going to present to Todd. You got to make one of these cool. You're starting a brand new series. The 2 things you can choose from, got to make it all brooding and dark and crazy and all that. You can choose Turnip Man, or you can choose Mozzarella Boy. Turnip Man, Mozzarella Boy. You got to sell it to Todd, make it like this cool dark storyline. Which way are you going?
If I'm making it dark, you got to go Turnip Man.
Dang it, but
he's a root vegetable, lives in the ground. He's probably like a little bit of a troll. Mozzarella's happy. Everyone loves mozzarella. Caprese salads, those are all fun and summery. Turnip Man's dark and brooding.
Dude, I could see. Can you just see that now? Like this cover of this big old turnip, just like with a cape on or something, or just like sitting on top of the like almost Spawn style.
There's clumps of dirt on him and veiny roots coming out. Nice.
Turnip Man, there it is, dude.
Turnip
Man. I had that one.
He's going to be in the Scorched, by the way. You've heard it here first. Turnip Man's showing up in the Scorched.
There it goes, dude. There it goes.
I'd mozzarella boy, but I could see the turnip one. They're kind of on the back burner. They're not popular, so that adds to the broodiness. you
And
know,
you could have like some series like The Root of Evil, you know what I'm saying? We'd go all day with this, man. Like just getting down in there, rooted into the I could
oh
just
yeah,
ideas are flowing, man. Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
depression, all that stuff comes in.
yeah, dude. Turn up, man. Turn up, man is depressed. It doesn't come out of the ground today. Love it. Next one, man. So with your book, because I didn't know that, but this actually was something I was kind of playing with one of these questions. So with your book that's coming out, you get a chance to kind of collaborate on your book, pick their brain, almost co-write your book with this person. Okay, you got two choices, both very, very creative, but you got to choose. Okay, very different. You can choose to have your book co-written with Stephen King, or way different, Mark Twain. Stephen King, Mark Twain. Which way you going?
Stephen King.
Dude, I had Mark Twain. I really did,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I really did.
You know, and here's my weird take on Stephen King. I don't enjoy reading Stephen King,
Right.
but I believe that Stephen King is one of the greatest storytellers
Hmm.
in modern times. His
Yeah.
prose gets a little bit verbose for me sometimes, but I love The Shining. I love
Yeah.
Dr. Sleepless. And I've read a bunch of his stuff, but I love adaptations of Stephen King more than I enjoy reading his books.
Understood. Got you. Dan, what'd you have on that?
No, it's Stephen King. I
Dude,
thought there was kind of two things aligned a little bit.
Man, I have
How,
Mark Twain, dude. I really
comic.
did. I really have Mark Twain, man. I was like, I just because you have a really like beyond comic book thing about you, man. I'm like, okay, it's all good. No wrong answers. Hoping I can bounce back with these last two, Dan, because I'm trying to win lunch here. Okay, so got that. So at your next signing, okay, here's the thing. At your next signing, they ask you to give a speech, kind of like really just go out there and quote. People want to hear from you, man. You know, crowd pleasing. Go out there, give a speech. Just talk to the crowd, right? And the your manager says, hey, before you go out there, you have to read from these two sets of lyrics to give your speech to the crowd. Like all you can do is quote lyrics from these songs, okay? So you can choose to quote lyrics from Cherry Pie, or you can choose to quote lyrics from Here I Go by Whitesnake. All you can do is those lyrics. Which way you going?
Oh, so Warrant or Whitesnake, huh?
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Stuff. I'm going with Janie Lane. I'm going Warrant.
Let's go. Let's go. I actually had you on the idea, just kind of like I could just
Yeah.
see it, man. Just add to it. Dane, what'd you have on that?
I had White Snake, man.
Yeah.
That was tough,
Okay.
man.
Yeah,
War,
that's a great question. That's a really
Gotcha.
good question because it makes me think because I was, I'm in high school in this era. I'm in high school in that era, but I very much geared towards I was the new wave.
Yeah.
That was my music of that generation. So I was definitely, but I hung out with all the metalheads, and my wife is a huge hair metal fan.
Okay.
So
okay.
so we still listen to that a lot if we're
Classics, man.
driving together. So
Classics.
yeah,
Doesn't go
so-
wrong.
But yeah, I'll go with Warrant. Yeah.
Okay. So we're tied. So last one. Let me see if I can go ahead because me and Dane are tied right now. Last one. So both of these, this script's already been written for one of these, but let's just say they approached you and asked you to write the script for these two upcoming movies. You get to be the writer. You get to do it all. Okay. You get a chance to do the next installment of The Hobbit. They're expanding on it, just going out with another one. So you can do the script for The Hobbit, or you can do the script for actually Dune 3. I know it's written, but you get a chance to do it. So Hobbit or Dune 3, which way you going?
Oh, Dune.
Let's go. I had you on that.
Dune is one of my favorite pieces of media. I just actually finished a read through again of all of Frank's original novels.
Love it. Love
I
it.
haven't dipped into his son Brian's stuff a whole lot, but I just finished them all again.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm very, very excited for the movie. I know it'll be different, but Denny, I think is a phenomenal director. I love the cast. So yeah, definitely going Dune.
Okay. I had it, Dan. What'd you have on that?
I had The Hobbit on that.
Let's go.
I'd like
I
to
took the
see if we
lead,
could
man.
jump that.
Took the lead, man. Okay, got you, Dane. So I will take my lunch, Dane. I'm expecting it. So that's a little segment, Thomas. We call rapid fire something different. Hope you enjoyed that. So
That was good.
yeah, awesome. So Dane, I'll get back to you for the last segment, man.
Yep. This last segment, we call it open mic. We open the floor to our guests to kind of talk to that next generation of writers, athletes, really anybody that aspires to do great things, sort of like you have. What would be maybe your advice to that next generation? Is there like a philosophy that you followed through your career or a mantra that can kind of help them younger generations along on their path as well?
Yeah, it goes back because I know you guys talk sports too, and I think this is an old sports slogan that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And I talked about this a lot when I was interviewed in Mexico at La Mole Con, and some of those interviews have just started to kind of drop on social media because it took a while for him to edit them up. And one of the things I just kept telling people is just do it. I know it sounds stupid bringing up the old Jordan slogan, Nike stuff, but I see for a hot minute there was definitely a downturn, and everybody kind of just like leaned into social media, and it was all about who you know. And I'm very, very excited that I'm seeing a big uptick of people like going back and just doing zines, just doing like self-made DIY comics. Go, yes, you can put them on a website, but I go to shows now and I see people that have just got like, this is printed at Kinko's and it's just hand stapled and it's just this little thing. And I absolutely love that. All like my first stuff was that too. We would just, hand drawn it, going to Kinko's, getting them printed out, folding, stapling them, and selling them for like $1 a piece, or
Yeah.
going to a local shop and like, can I put these on your local section? And to me, that's the stuff I absolutely love seeing. We at least at TMP, we love finding people that have not broken in yet. Like, sure, we've got people like Jimmy Palmiotti who are well known in the industry and beloved by the fan base. So when we said, hey, we've got a Western to write, there's arguably not a lot of people better in the industry at writing Westerns than Jimmy Palmiotti. And he loves writing Westerns. I mean, that he's a fan of those. But we love finding people that like just haven't been discovered yet, whether they be writers, artists, colorists, or whatever, and just going like, look at this really cool piece that I found at a show, and I'll give that to Todd and be like, let's call him up, let's get him on covers. This is cool. And we've done that a bunch of times. So if you're looking to break into the comic industry, just make comics. Don't wait for the perfect moment to get your image pitch in. You can do that at any time, but still doodle something, take a photo of it, post it on Instagram, go to a local show, hand them out to creators that are there, be like, hey, here's my 4-page little zine. I
That's cool,
absolutely
man.
love that. And I think we need to get back to that and stop worrying about everything being pristine. And I've got a creative team that I work with, and they're two of my best friends. And, we talk about just being in the industry, and like, this was one of their first kind of major big books. And I go, think about it this way. What is Todd famous for? Like, if I were to ask you two guys, when I say Todd McFarlane, what's the first thing that jumps to your mind?
Yeah. I'd say detail, just story.
Well, project, like
Oh,
just
oh yeah,
Spawn.
Spawn.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. Spawn.
Spawn and Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that wasn't Todd's first comic. That wasn't even Todd's second, third, or fourth comic. Nobody necessarily, I mean, yeah, the hardcore Spawn fans know that Coyote was his first promo, but nobody goes, Coyote was the greatest thing he ever did. So that's what I tell people. Your first major project, that's never going to be the one you're remembered for. That's just your first one. You're going to learn all the mistakes you made. So when you work on your second one, it's going to be better. And when you work on your third one, so don't over stress about the first one. The hardest part is just getting it out there. My first novel is going to be trash. I know it. I know it's going to be garbage, but I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to get feedback from publishers. I'm going to get feedback from editors, and I'm certainly going to get feedback from people that read it and hit me up on Instagram going, dude, stop doing this. You're bad.
No.
Because I mean, that's the way it is. That's just, it's the way it is, because social media is anonymous for the most part. So I get horrible things every time an issue of mine comes out. Every creator does, but we're used to it. But it's your first one, and you're going to learn every time. So the hardest thing is just doing it. Come up to me at a show. If I'm there, give me your book. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to love it, because I love indie stuff. And I think that's most people in the industry. That's what they want to see. They just want to see somebody with passion doing it, not somebody that's going, I'm going to write my first comic for the sole purpose of getting it picked up by Netflix and turned into a live action TV series.
Right.
Sure,
Yeah.
that is a path nowadays, but that does not necessarily interest me. I just want to see you making cool comic books.
It's not the soul either, man. Like when you said, and again, I don't know how anybody would ever give you anything but love, man. It's nothing but love here. But when you talk about like just the passion, just the grassroots, just getting down and dirty and doing it, and old school, I'm loving the resurgence too. It's you kind of seeing this in different spots. Like digital's still there, but people are going, analog things, like whether it's vinyl or paper. People are kind of getting back into creating with their hands. You know what I'm saying? So I like what
I
you're
agree.
saying.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at all the stuff that came out with Sony. Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, they had to announce, hey, like 500 movies that you bought and were sitting on your PlayStation. Yeah, we're going to delete them all because we lost the contract. So you lost all those movies. We told you bought them, but now we're taking them away. And then like 3 days later, they had to announce, oh, and when 2027 hits, we're going all digital, so you're not even going to be able to buy a disc anymore. So people are like, but you just took our movies, so are you going to take our games too?
Yeah.
Like, why am I buying this?
Yeah.
And that's why I love it. It's like I have a physical issue of something. I get it. Some people want to just read comics on an iPad. That's awesome. It's great on a plane.
Yeah.
I'm not a hold of that, but I love having my physical media again, whether it's a record, whether it's a CD. I still have a cassette player for
Yeah.
stuff. Um, and I want comic books. I want physical issues. And I'm not a guy that, like, yeah, there's a couple of key issues that get put in fancy bags and put away. Man, I miss the days when people would read a comic book, give it to their friend, and be like, "This was
Hmm.
awesome. Read that." And it wasn't
Yeah.
just I have a bag and board and it's instantly put in the box and I never touch it ever again.
Man, there's
I'd
some
rather you read
Absolutely.
it. I'd rather you read it, man.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
something to that because the old school days, man, like I always say going home, getting home from the supermarket and you just it's like that new smell to you open it up and you read through it
Mm-hmm.
and you're just into this world, you know. Like if you don't do it, you can't explain to someone who's never tried it. Like digital media these days, but
Yeah.
to sit down, open it. That's why I love again that just paper Dane, right, is coming back. It's cool to see
Yeah.
some of those surges, right, Dane?
Oh yeah. And to the point of writing, whenever you said your first stuff that comes out isn't going to be that great, but it's your personality, those first issues. You're trying to express yourself on
Yeah.
paper in any kind of medium that you want. And as you get older and as you get more experience, everything gets more depth and you
Yeah.
Hmm.
start building and then third one along or fourth one along always has all that collaboration into it
Yeah,
and turns into
Yeah.
something great.
love it.
I get asked a lot, and I did a panel in Albuquerque earlier this year, and the question was, how, as a writer, not even just specifically comics, as a writer, how do you get better?
Yeah.
And to me, they're really the easiest thing to say is you write every day. That's it. Write every
Yeah.
day. I don't care what you write. It doesn't have to be working on your novel or your script, or your comic. I don't care if it's one line, but if it's
Yeah.
one really good line of dialogue that makes you go, and I've done this, and I carry a notebook everywhere I go. And
Hmm.
I might write one bit of dialogue and go, I don't even know what this is for, but I love
Yeah.
this line. That goes into a Google Doc. It's saved. And then as I'm working on projects, I have that open in the side and I go, can I use any of this?
Mm,
And
Yeah.
and again, that's all it is. And if you write every day, if you draw every day, you are getting better every day.
mm. I
You may
love it,
not
man.
notice it, but I guarantee you go 3 or 4 months of doing that and then go back to that first stuff, you're gonna go, oh my God, I was horrible. What was I thinking? But you will improve. And I talked to
Right.
somebody, and then I had a couple people follow me on Instagram, and I have this one gal, and she hits me up all the time. She's like, I keep the notebook by. She's like, you're right. I have to keep the notebook by my bed when I go to sleep because I woke up in the middle of the night with an idea, and I went, I'll just write it down tomorrow morning. And now I don't remember. I'm like, I told you, I can't tell you how many times I have lost
Hmm.
incredible ideas because I went, I'll just write it down tomorrow. You won't remember it.
Yeah,
Keep the notebook next to you.
man, I love it.
Write every day and just do it.
Love it, man. All just sound advice, man. And like I said, just across the board, whether it's like you said in this world or acting, music, sports, it all kind of goes together. Just practice, sharpen your skill set.
Yeah.
So they very clearly see that that's working out for you, man. I love all the products you're doing. It's so cool to see, man. Again, just engulfed in it. One of the
Yeah.
coolest guys in comics, but also one of the most down to earth guys. It's just cool to see that dichotomy of what you do. No wonder
Yeah.
people love you. I don't know how in the world. I've never seen anything but love, dude. Maybe I'm just not looking right places, but it's always like, dude's great, dude's great. I even had a lady say, "Hey, I don't really care about your guys' show, but Thomas is cool." I'm like, "Bet, okay, that's cool because he's just a cool dude, you know." So I love that, right? So it just anyway, man, I just love what you're doing. It's cool to
Yeah.
see what you continue to do, and it just gets better and better, man. So we always say, once you come on once, you're an alum. So as new stuff comes out, as the book comes out, please,
Yeah.
man, you're welcome back on the show anytime. We'll promote anything we can for you along the way. Okay,
Absolutely.
so.
Very cool, man. Thank you so much. This
Yes.
has been great.
Awesome, man. Well,
I
I know
didn't
you're a
even
busy
talk
guy.
about
Thank you.
sports or music,
No, man, we
really.
just want to talk about you, man. It's just about you and your journey, and really that's where we wanted to go. So I'll tell you, man, on behalf of Dane and I, let's make sure we do this again. I know you're a
Yeah.
busy guy, so
Absolutely.
we'll give you some time back. So let's do this again very soon, and just good luck on all the things coming up. Okay. So
Right on, guys. Thank you so much, man. This has been great.
yes, sir.
All right.
Take care, man.
Thank
Much
you.
love. Appreciate you so
Thanks,
much,
brother.
dude. I'm
All right.
telling you,
See you.
man, that's why I love that guy. Down to earth, successful, creative. Dane, what'd you think of him? Wasn't he great?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, no matter what you choose to go into, like he said, just get it out there. Uh,
Hmm.
you may not like it, but somebody else, it might be just what they need to see, read, hear, watch, whatever it is that you do. I
Hmm.
mean, get it out there and you might inspire somebody. And he's done that for years, inspired
Hmm.
people, made people wonder, um, entertained, every emotion.
It's great.
And he put it on
Yeah.
paper and it's great.
And it's cool. Like I said, he's brought being in the comic book world, people like him and Bendis and others, man. it's made it cool. Like it's always been cool to
Yeah.
me, but now it's like mainstream cool, you know. And he's like one of the OGs
Yeah.
of it. So going back and saying, "I told you, kids, told you this is cool." Nothing cooler than seeing my kid go through my comic and be like, "Whoa, what is this about?"
Yeah.
And he's got what kind of power? And it's like, yeah, just creativity, man, just creative stuff,
Yeah.
you know. So, and
Hey,
you know, love it.
Turnip Boy maybe in the works then.
Might have a deep rooted hand on that, right, Dane? So no,
Yeah, there you
but
go.
no, that was Thomas Healy, guys. Great guy. Just a cool dude across the board. Just so talented, so smart. Again, and he's using his passion for what he loves. So
Yeah,
we say that every
absolutely.
episode. We always say that, but just do what you love, man. And that's what this is about. So that was a great
Yeah.
one, guys. Got a lot more content coming up this month. Some stuff I'm just chomping at the bit to talk about, but we'll
Yeah.
save that. So that was a good one. You guys out there,
Okay.
as always, out there in virtual land, don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane.
Thank you for listening.